baby. It's your boy Shaka being that mafioso, the done died, the coldest ninja with the nunchuck swinging behind his back, aka Shaka Black, aka Shaka Fuego, aka SB Panther, aka Shaka Flame, man. Listen, bro. Man, we got the infamous. I mean, she been making a lot of noise lately. Not necessarily good, depending on your perspective, because she might be a superhero to certain different demographics in the United States, but she's been ruffling a lot of feathers amongst the male sports lover, basketball lover community, man. Let's talk about Malika Andrews. Let's get into this reaction about what she's been doing, because let's just get into the reaction before I get this statement.
With athletes and players and see how they can improve. Let's get started.
I think that Dylan Brooks should be suspended for Game 3 and possibly Game 4. Look, you have to clean this up. Look, we talking about people saying we don't know if he did it intentionally. He fouled him on purpose, and he did it with intentions. Okay, let's get that out the way. Here's the thing that we have to. Looking at the play,
you can't look at a person. Yeah, but you're making an assumption.
Yes, you can.
You can't look at a person and know what their intent was. It was a dangerous play, regardless. But you can't. Okay, I didn't realize we had a.
Hold on, somebody tell me the sports background Malika Andrews has. Like, did she play volleyball, tennis, any type of sport? Because any type of sport, just let me know.
I'm only going to say
please
that.
continue.
Kirk, how old were you when you dunked the ball for the first time?
Now here's when he humbled her.
21. 12.
12. How old were you when you dunked the ball for the first time?
12.
I was about 13 years old when I dunked the ball for the first time. I know
he said
what
21.
a fast break looks like.
21.
4 months out in a season because I had my wrist taken out on a dunk. I know not necessarily the intent to hurt, but I know the intent to foul extremely hard, and that's the repercussions.
Okay, so right away, she's getting upset she was wrong, being condescending.
Right,
and
you
not
can tell by her face.
Colleagues. The simple fact is, all three of those guys are former players, and they can watch a play and get a conclusion from that. Woj didn't say that. Woj didn't play. He knew better. But all the players that watch game film and understand how the game works knew that that play was intentional.
Right. That's like me going to a war veteran, and I've never served, telling him, "Oh man, war wasn't that bad. War wasn't this, man. They wasn't. You know, this, you don't know about war. You know what I'm saying, like that." But it's a difference between speculating and participating. You know what I'm saying? That's why I feel like she ruffles a lot of feathers, but let's go on.
Woj, you reported that Joe Mazzulla will be the interim head coach here. You can see his resume on your screen. He's been a Celtics assistant coach the last 3 seasons after spending the previous 3 seasons at Fairmount State. And he played for West Virginia between 2006 and 2011, and now could become the NBA's youngest head coach at 34 years old. And we'd be remiss not to also mention that Mazzulla was arrested twice at West Virginia, once in 2008 for underage drinking and aggravated assault. He pled guilty, paid a fine, and then
why
again
does that
in 2009
matter?
for domestic battery after an incident at Morgantown Bar. The domestic battery case never went to trial. It was settled in August of 2009. He paid a $100
How long
fine
ago was 2009?
and court costs, plus had to do 40 hours of community service. Now, that was 13 years ago. He settled and paid both fines.
Yo, bro, tell me why this matters. Somebody tell me why this matters. It's a slippery slope when everybody's held to the bar of perfection. We go into the Bible, we're not perfect creatures. We were born in sin. The world's not perfect. So if you gotta hair everybody as a paragon of purity, we're not gonna get very far. We're not gonna get very far. But I just think it's a way to discredit a lot of the talent that these players have. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where it comes from, but apparently she has her own problems too. They say she suffered from anxiety and depression and all types of stuff like that. I haven't gotten much into her story, but just imagine if she wrote a good article, and every time she wrote a good article, we're saying, well, we don't know if this article could be really based in actuality, because she suffers from anxiety and depression. So we don't know if it's biased, and then we don't know if it's a good perspective of this article. Like, come on, bro.
Bringing up someone's background to see how it could affect their future job
That's
is
lame.
okay in itself. But going off what we know about Malika and her past behavior, do you think it would have been acceptable if someone else on the panel had brought those things up about a woman? I have a hard time seeing it because she won't even hold women accountable that are doing wrong right now, so why would she do it for their past? She would say, they're not here to defend themselves, and we're not going to blame women if we don't know all the facts.
It's like
that's
increasing a double
Kobe
standard.
Bryant, when I've seen him personally get in people's face and just cuss them out to their damn near in tears, and they're grown men. You know, Michael Jordan probably would have been fighting his teammates if he had to see some of the stuff that.
Come on, bro. What is this? Kobe Bryant was a legend. That's men. Once men can't get it and talk smack to each other, you know what I'm saying? What are we doing, bro? If you go to the Army, they're gonna talk to you like shit, but you're gonna be stronger from it. It's like, you know what I'm saying, steel sharpens steel, bro. Come on, man.
These guys do. So I feel like what makes LeBron great,
Soft boy.
He's always been knocked out. He's not a killer. He'll make the right pass, and I've always loved that. But I also think sometimes that hurts him because, not saying I've never had him as a leader, and I'm sure he has his ways of particularly leading this team. But I know for a fact if
LeBron get them
the two guys
grades,
I mentioned before saw some of the effort and energy that he saw from his teammates this year, it would have been an issue.
I mean, when Kobe, Dwight, and Nash all had injuries,
Kobe.
though, they didn't win a playoff game.
They got to the playoffs, though.
But they didn't win a game. Neither did this Lakers team. The year 19, when he was averaging 22 on 37% shooting, Kobe did. The Lakers, they went 10 and 25 in the games that he played in. So I'm not sure it's. I understand what you're saying, Matt, but I'm not so sure it's well, Kobe Bryant would have been the white horse to fix. Kobe Bryant would have been the white horse.
Definitely not saying that, but what I'm saying is Kobe
Bryant is a legend.
He would not let the way some of his teammates
Sure, but if you get in someone's face and it doesn't turn into
wins,
then you're just getting in somebody's face.
That's stupid. How many times did Kobe dub, though? We talking about the Black Mamba, bruh. Like, if he got in the face and he played, Kobe was in the league so long, he had some trash seasons. But we talking about Kobe Bryant. Come on, bruh. It's plenty of times he got in somebody's face and wet that 3-point, got that dub, bruh. Stop playing, bruh.
But it's going to be a problem the entire season. And it just didn't seem like, at some point, it just seemed like everyone's just like, oh, well, forget it. It is what it is. And I just know, like I said, this is not even what LeBron has been able to do this season alone has been absolutely incredible. He continues to climb the ladder. But I'm just saying from a standpoint of just not having
I don't know where her anger comes from.
On a day in, day out basis sometimes, those guys wouldn't have had it like that.
Here again, she's not really respecting the experiences that Matt Barnes has gone through as a player. That's the unique thing that he brings to the panel that no one else has.
That's
the other
narcissism.
Players, of course. But on that panel, he's the player. He's been there. He's done that.
And let's be real. There's no way you're unobjectively listening to somebody when your face is already crumpled up in a response. You see, her face is just chilling, like she just listening. But hers is already to be in opposition of whatever he has to say before he finishes his sentence. That's bias, and that's disingenuous, whatever she says next.
He knows how Kobe leads, and he's seen how LeBron leads, and he knows it's different, and all he's doing is pointing out the difference. He wasn't being vulgar. He wasn't hating on LeBron. He was simply pointing out that Michael and Kobe lead differently than LeBron, and sometimes it works better that way, and sometimes it doesn't.
Stephen A., with all due respect, this is not about pointing the finger. Stop. The fact that it was able to go on all day, the fact that we are sitting here debating whether somebody else should have been suspended or not, we are not here, Stephen A., to further blame women. That is not why we are here.
Hey, my thing is, bruh, why go to men's sport with feminist ideologies? Why go to men's sports with that ideology, bruh? It's purely men in the sport. Why not go to the WNBA, women's boxing, and practice good faith arguments in that realm where it's like, where it makes more sense? Telling a bunch of men that they're demons and that they're horrible people doesn't make sense, because you have no choice but to ruffle feathers, because somebody who doesn't feel like that is not going to rock with it. Like, you have no choice but to be the anti if you dislike men or you dislike what they do or how they do things in a male-dominated sport. It don't even make sense. It don't make sense to me.
with this one, we already know she falsely accused Stephen A. of blaming women. But what I'd like to add is if you're the guilty party that slept with Ime Udoka, why don't you come forward to stop the speculation? If you know your coworkers that are also women are being dragged on social media, why don't you take responsibility for your actions?
Because they're gonna benefit.
Instead, she's blaming everybody else for wondering why the woman wasn't punished. And that's not fair. Especially when she's the one that just aired out the new coach's dirty laundry all over national television.
Like, come on, bro.
They asked, is anybody else going
to
be punished? And they said no. And my whole thing is this, right? These are some of the facts that have been out. These are some facts that I know that, you know, this relationship, one of these relationships that was had with Ime Udoka and one of these women, it was consensual, meaning that
consensual. And that's exactly what I was going to say. Consensual, existing or made by mutual consent without an act of writing. Without an act of writing? Oh, right. Like a contract involving or based on mutual consent. So that goes to my thing. He wasn't convicted in the court or in trial by court for anything illegal. So what they do now is like he didn't do anything illegal. It was against company policy. But at the end of the day, if he wasn't at such a high level, you know how many people have work bays? It's a term, work bays, or find their wife at their job. It's like, bro, this is nothing illegal. But you convict them in a court of public opinion. And it's like, yo, he lost his job. Like, if he had sex with a woman, it is what it is. Like, that's how we here. That's how God made us. You get what I'm saying? So it's just like, man, y'all demonize this man for sleeping with a woman. It's kind of weird. You get what I'm saying? It's what it is. It happens. It has to happen, or we go extinct.
Part in it too. So my thing is, yes, Ime Udoka was wrong. We get that. His punishment, he deserved that, and whatever else follows, I hate it for him, but he put himself in this position.
Face already ready. Like, bro, what are you offended by? What are you offended by? His face is stoic. This man right here, I wish I could. Oh, I can. His face is stoic. He's just chilling. She obviously has vitriol, a touch of vitriol and vehemence. And whatever he's saying, she's chilling. He's like, oh, he's chilling. But obviously, she's finna bite his head off because he said it was consensual. It was, though. Otherwise, he would be in jail.
But why are the other people getting left off the hook?
Well,
that's the problem that I have.
And cutting him off.
Now, everybody got to be held accountable.
Cutting him off. She is not his elder. I don't care who you are. If a woman is older than me and she's speaking, I'm going to let her speak. That's what's respect. You honor thy mother, thy father, and you respect your elders. This man is a grown man. She's young. I'm older than her. I'm more than 100% sure I'm older than her. This man looks like he has grandkids or whatever. He might not be that old, but he's older than her. Like, what is the point? What basis do you have to act like you have more wisdom than somebody who came before you just because you're in a different position? That's why I don't respect kids who disrespect their mothers and their fathers, because you don't know what you're talking about. I don't care how much of an ego you have, how arrogant you are, but to think that you have more knowledge of a certain opinion than men who've lived longer than you and actually played the game, it's like, bro, you have no choice but to be hated, because at this point, unless you're talking from a script, you're arrogant.
I think that we need to circle back to what Shanae said, is that there was an investigation that was conducted by an independent law firm here, and I think that
did he go to jail?
Is what will rule the day here. And so without having all of the information, it is unfair and irresponsible of us to go and to speculate on that, because what we have to...
Well, I'm not speculating.
He said he know what's going on. But the thing is, how is it transparency if we don't know who the other party was, even though it was consensual? That's the opposite of transparency. We don't know what she looks like. We can't see through the veil. If anything, she's surrounded in darkness, whoever the woman was. But we know Ime Udoka. That's the opposite of transparency, baby. That's the opposite of transparency.
I'm not speculating.
But what we have to go with here is the fact that
the narrative
independent law firm came in, did this investigation, and the facts that they were presented, they came to the conclusion that Ime Udoka violated a policy that warranted a 1-year suspension. And I share your frustration with the lack of transparency, while understanding that there is some things that they need to, from a legal perspective, keep private. But knowing all of that, understanding all of that, we have to come to the conclusion that whatever rule, the conduct that was broken on one side, it is not the same on the other side. I thank you for your
How is it not the same?
Thing I want to mention is notice how in every one of these clips she's interrupting the speaker.
Exactly.
No one ever interrupts her. Once she's taken the floor, it's her floor. That's what I don't like.
When it comes to her, it's a totalitarian dictatorship. You feel me? What I say goes, right or wrong. F what you got to talk about, man, bro. It's a slippery slope. And I seen one thing that said, when you get to censoring and there's no freedom of speech and there's all this, you're one step away from a totalitarian society. Come on, bro.
Okay to disagree. It's okay to have a different perspective, but why don't you ever let them finish their point? And in Perk's case,
because they don't want to hear it.
He never got to finish his point. She completely cut him off and took him off the air, and that was the end of it. If someone says something she doesn't like, she's allowed to interrupt and even cut them off completely. And I do not like that one bit. That's my biggest problem with all this. But that's just what I think about all this.
It's a bad faith.
Let me know in the comments.
It's a bad faith. All the arguments being bad faith, and it's going to go one-sided either way, because you can't look at the other person's side when you dislike them and you have a lot of disdain for them. It's going to be one-sided. You know what I'm saying? She hasn't showed that she cares for any of these players. They be so pissed off, and maybe it's good for ratings in the you know what I'm saying? I ain't going to use these little terms and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, she's with she pushes an agenda that a lot of people are against and a lot of people are for. The people who are for it have new ideologies and new ways of seeing things that aren't necessarily conducive to what the norm was, which is family building and stuff like that, and the man being, you know, the leader and all these other things. So to keep it like that, that's how we're gonna keep it. I don't feel like she has I don't feel like she's even a fan of sports. I feel like she knows her stuff. She's getting a bag, and whoever wants her to talk like that, she's gonna keep talking like that, because she's doing what they want them to do. And no matter, I don't know how long her run's gonna be in sports, but it's gonna be bad faith every time, because it's always going to be about bringing up somebody's criminal record, demonizing them, and promoting the narrative that all these people are bad. You get what I'm saying? But it's never going to be in good faith where it's like people make mistakes, or this is a man and this is a woman. We're both the same. Nobody's better than the other. It's always going to be painting and demonizing men of sports. And that's where it's going to be a slippery slope, because it's going to drive people away. After a while, if they hire another Malika Andrews, people are not going to want to watch ESPN anymore. It's only so much people are going to take, you know. Once you start doing it to, like, it's cool to do it with the black demographic of black sports entertainers, but if she start turning it to every man, then it's going to be a problem. But notice she can stay in the realm of just bringing up a black sports entertainer's criminal record and demonizing them, because the news already does it. It's already a narrative, and she's just helping push in the same narrative that's been pushed. So, of course, somebody might have her doing it. She might be reading from a script, or she might genuinely feel like that. Her father wasn't absent in her life, so I don't get where her vitriol towards black men comes from. But, hey, man, I got to watch more clips, because it might not just be black men, but from what I'm seeing, it's like I don't want to say self-hate, but it seems to be one type of person she doesn't like. But it's your boy Shaka B and that mafioso, the Dundada coldest ninja with a nunchuck swinging behind his back, aka Shaka Black, aka Shaka Fuego, aka SB Panther, aka Shaka Flame, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Am I completely wrong? Am I biased? Am I having vitriol towards Malika Andrews? Y'all let me know, man. You dislike, like it, comment, subscribe, do your thing, man. It's your boy Black, and I'm out. Peace.